Ever Crisis, Sephiroth's FF9 banner, and for once this is not going to be a TLDR because there's a lot to go over. Let's go. That does mean I get to talk a bit slower this time. I won't run out of breath so easily. So, this banner's a little bit of a pain, okay? Because it's going to change the way you build your teams, and I have two potential builds to show you. They are not perfect, but they do have a substantial amount of flexibility and different things that those teams can do based on what you have. This video is also going to be pros and cons, instead of just the typical video where it's like, hey, you should pull on this banner for all these reasons, or you shouldn't pull on the banner for these reasons. You end up walking away with a biased opinion, so I'm going to give you 100% of both sides, so you walk away with all of the information, and nobody has pushed you into a specific opinion. So the outfit itself has boost HP plus 10, which is 15% flat, which is great. You're halfway up to the 30%, which is also fantastic as well. Realistically, should be on every weapon. It's beautiful. Then we have boost magic ability potency. 15% flat increase to your magic ability, specifically halfway up to 30 as well. This is only going to take effect when your diamond is red, you are in attack stance, and the bar is full. Then you get your 15%, but it is only to magic ability. So if you are not carrying the edged wings or any of his other magics, let's say you were using his wind weapon, for example, this outfit, not really going to work for you. But it does look great as well. It does have HP. So even if you just miss out on that stat, it's not the worst. And if you're getting this weapon, this will affect this weapon, so it isn't a full waste. On the weapon itself, we have 340% magical, so that's where the usefulness from that's coming from. Non-elemental damage, with a crit rate of 10% to all enemies, which is really nice. Also, it will decrease the magic attack of all the enemies by 2 ticks, mid-potency, with a max of mid-potency, as well as the fact that if your Sephiroth is above 50% of his HP when he uses this ability, it will also decrease the physical attack of all of the enemies by 2 ticks, mid-potency as well. So, this is extremely nice. If you do get this to OB6, it will go up to high, so you can have 3 ticks of both your physical and magical attack decrease as an AoE, and your damage will go up to 480% as well, which is fantastic. Now, this also contains boost magic attack, which is definitely going to benefit you more if you have edged wings or some other form of magical weapon. And it also contains boost ability potency, which does boost your magic as well. I see a lot of people complaining that this isn't boost magical ability, but there are 3 reasons that I can think of as to why this is the case. Number 1 is Sephiroth is very, very powerful in comparison to some of the existing characters, and they cannot keep pushing that narrative, because it forces players to have to use a specific character, and it really becomes a problem. They have to try and balance all of the characters, so this is their way of nerfing him to stop him getting to his true potential. The second is that not everybody that is a Sephiroth main has the magical dealing weapons. Some of them are using the wind weapon, so this has to have a bit of physical on as well to compensate to those players as well, as to not alienate anyone, and this is very important as well. The third reason is that this is probably replacing the Onibi, and that also has boost ability potency on it. So it's a straight swap, realistically. Support material, you're looking at magic, and sigil boost, which is absolutely beautiful, but chances are you are not going to make use of these because this most likely is not going to be your main hand weapon. Your damage dealing is. If your current weapon is dealing less than 340% damage, that is a bit of an issue, but that does mean you can have this as your main weapon, and then keep your Onibi. That is a thing you could do, but chances are you are dealing more damage than this, and this is designed to replace your Onibi. So, let's go to our weapons real quick. Also, I forgot to show you there, but even at overboost 10, that weapon is dealing about 540% damage, which is nothing in comparison to what you could be getting with the likes of edged wings. This is already dealing 440. If I was to overboost this just a single time, it is already now dealing 530. So it's stronger at 1 overboost. So that is a big reason as to why you're going to be keeping this. Then if you do have your physical boost, your physical style, you have the Dark Heavens, which is your wind, you are going the physical route. Now, I do have 2 builds in mind for this, One of them definitely is better than the other, because it's magical-based, but here is the magical-based version. In this version, I don't have everything that I'm actually going to be explaining here, so I need a little bit of imagination going here. Sephiroth has his edged wings, magical ice outfit as well, and the Onibi is replaced with the new weapon. If we replace the new weapon, or if we replace the Onibi with this weapon, we are losing 3 ticks of magical damage on our Sephiroth. How do we get that back? The answer is Aerith. The new banner weapon, which as of yesterday, before this banner came out, I claimed, my opinion was that this weapon was effectively pointless, because what it will do is it will buff your allies' magic attack by up to 3 ticks, high potency. It was kind of irrelevant because you could just use a Sun Umbrella instead and decrease the enemy's defenses, so all 3 of your characters could benefit from that as opposed to just buffing one ally, and then your one ally being beneficial. The ATB to damage your dealing ratio for the one buff on either side was leaning way more towards debuffing, making this weapon pointless. However, now, if we're replacing Onibi, this is extremely useful. But it is going to have to replace your Fairy Tail, at least with my ideal build, okay? We've replaced the Fairy Tail. And we still have the Sun Umbrella. The Sun Umbrella is going to be capable of reducing the physical defense and the magical defense of the enemies. So already with just these 2 characters, we can decrease the defense, the physical defense, the magical defense, the physical attack, and the magical attack of enemies. That's every single buff, or debuff, except for the extremely unique rare ones, like Ice Down specifically. Chances are we'll get materia for that down the line anyway. So we're already pretty set on debuffs, and we can buff ourselves, and we can do a fuck ton of damage with the edged wings as well. That leaves Tifa. Tifa, under the assumption you have the outfit from the beach outfit, that one gives you boost in heal, and then you have the heal gloves. She has now become your healer, and she then has the power soul, because this is a magical non-element attack, which is quite powerful. So the fact that you can have magical on Tifa means that this weapon is effective for all 3 of your characters, because Sun Umbrella also deals damage, magic damage, the Edged Wings deals magic damage, and the Parasol deals magic damage. This is useful. This team, including if you have Sephiroth's Limit Break, which boosts his own magic and physical attack. Physical, we don't need to worry about too much, but it's there. It'll help with limit breaks. You have Tifa's Limit Break, which can reduce the physical and magical defense of an enemy as well. And Aerith can also heal with her Limit Break. Between the 3 of these, you have every debuff. You can buff yourself, magic attack for all 3 characters, so it's super useful. Sephiroth can buff himself with his limit. Tifa can debuff the enemy with her limit, which she gets relentlessly quick. This is a very, very well-rounded team, but it requires a lot of conditions. You have to meet a lot of conditions for this team to be very viable, okay? So, yeah, that's the ideal Magic team that I can think of as of right now. Then there is the physical version, which does have more downsides. That is this one. Sephiroth is now a physical damage dealer instead. I don't have the wind outfit, so just pretend that I do. We have the wind sword, which is physical, and it comes with P-attack and wind potency. Pretend that this one is Sephiroth's new weapon, because this whole video is about under the assumption you have the new weapon. The downside to this is that it comes with M-attack. It's a little unfortunate. It's kind of only going to your, I mean, this goes to your materia, which is kind of nice, and it goes to your limit break, so it's not a total waste. To replace the fact that we are losing damage from the Onibi, I guess, we have Glenn. Glenn has his Halloween outfit weapon. I don't know why I said the word outfit there. P-attack increased on any of your allies, which is extremely nice, so this is the equivalent of Aerith's new banner weapon. He also has the Piece of Cake, which can reduce the physical defense of the enemies of high potency, and it's a damage-dealing weapon that is physical, so he can benefit from the buff. Sephiroth can also benefit from this buff, and we have Cloud with Zidane's weapon, which can also benefit from this buff. So we have the same scenario, and Cloud is now our healer as well with the Crystal Sword. If you have the outfit from the Halloween event from him as well, he will also have 10 points in boost heal. It isn't a deal breaker if you don't have this, but it's also not a deal breaker if you do, because if you have Zidane Sword here, at OB1, 780% damage. This is a boosted weapon. Like, I mean, naturally boosted weapon. It is exceptionally strong to begin with, so losing a couple points by having heal on your outfit instead of P-attack, not that big of a deal, because this weapon is already super strong. So you have 3 attackers that can all be buffed with your physical attack. You can still debuff the physical attack of all of the enemies, or the physical defense of all of the enemies with Glenn. And with Sephiroth's new sword, you would be able to you'll be able to debuff the physical and magical attack of all of the enemies as well. So we still came out pretty damn nice, except you are missing out the one thing where that weapon contains, the new Sephiroth weapon, does contain magic attack. But in both of these scenarios, the outfit, not particularly useful. The only way that this outfit does become useful is if instead of using one of these weapons, you're using one of his standard weapons and it only works on the magical build, obviously, because it has the magic attack, so that's not useful. Physical defense is increased, that's not useful. Radiant Aura is a physical, so that's not useful. I don't know what this one does. This is... Okay, if you have Shock Blast, if you have the Shinra Blade model, this will work. It will give you the boost attack, the boost ability potency, and it is magical attack. So if you have the new outfit with the magic ability potency, that does work pretty nicely. Anobi's irrelevant at this point. Then we have the Sweeping Slash, which is physical, so it doesn't matter, and that's everything. That's literally everything. So there are pros, there are cons to all of these things. Personally, I'm not pulling on this banner because I don't use Sephiroth whatsoever. He is not one of my characters. My main characters are Cloud, Aerith, and Glenn. So that is the only reason that I will not be pulling on this banner, but hopefully you have enough information there that you can make a decision on yourself. If this video did help you in any way, please feel free to leave a like, sub if you're not, and I will catch you in the next TLDR video, because this was not one of them. Alright, good luck, guys.